Hi, guys. I wanted to read to you a book called A River of Words, and this is the story of William Carlos Williams by Jen Bryant. It says here Willie's words gave him freedom and peace, but he also needed to earn a living, so he became a doctor, one of the busiest men in town. So, this is a true story of a famous man that you're about to learn all about. You may be familiar with his name, but hope you enjoy the book. All right, here we go. This is just a little quote to start us off. It says, "When I was younger, it was plain to me I must make something of myself." William Carlos Williams. Like the other boys in Rutherford, New Jersey, Willie Williams loved to play baseball and to race his friends up and down the street. But when the other boys went inside, Willie stayed outside. Climbing over the fence in his backyard, he wandered alone through the woods and fields. I will try to keep my picture somewhere that doesn't get in the way. In those days, just beyond town, there were still many wild places for Willie to explore. "My Willie has sharp eyes. He notices everything," his mother told the neighbors. And it was true. As he walked through the high grasses and along the soft dirt paths, Willie watched everything. When he grew tired, he stretched out beside the Passaic River. Gurgle, gurgle, swish, swish, swoosh, gurgle, gurgle. The water went slipping and sliding over the smooth rocks, then poured in a torrent over the falls, then quieted again below. The river's music both excited and soothed Willie. Sometimes, as he listened to its perfect tune, he fell asleep. As Willie grew older, there was less time to wander through the woods and fields and to nap by the river. In high school, Willie had classes and track practice and lots of homework. "Willie's always in a hurry," his mother told the neighbors, and it was true. But when Mr. Abbott read poetry to Willie's English class, Willie did not feel hurried. The gentle sounds and shifting rhythms of the poems were like the music of the river. As the teacher read each line, Willie closed his eyes and let them make pictures in his mind. One night, alone in his room, Willie began to write his own poems. At first he imitated the famous English writers he had learned about in school. He counted the beats in each line and made the endings rhyme. "The archer is awake, the swan is flying, gold against blue, an arrow is lying." Poetry suited Willie. Every night he looked forward to sitting at his desk and writing a few new lines. But after a while he grew frustrated. He had pictures in his mind that didn't fit exactly into steady rhythms or rhymes. "I have never seen a swan or an archer," Willie thought. "I want to write about ordinary things. Plums, wheelbarrows and weeds, fire engines, children and trees, things I see when I walk down my street or look out my window." So Willie tried writing a new way. Instead of counting the beats or making the end words rhyme, he let each poem find its own special shape on the page. "There is a bird in the poplars, it is the sun. The leaves are little yellow fish swimming in the river." These illustrations are really beautiful with lots going on, many layers to them. Now when he wrote poems, he felt as free as the Passaic River as it rushed to the falls. Willie's notebooks filled up one after another. "My boy is a good writer," his mother said, and it was true. Unfortunately, no one paid much money for poetry, and Willie needed to earn a living. And here's some poems that would be fun to read through all of them. I'll read through these bigger ones. It says, "The little sparrows hop ingeniously about the pavement, quarreling, with sharp voices over things that interest them. Willie's mother had told him stories about her older brother Carlos, who was a doctor. When our father died, she told Willie, Carlos's salary provided for our whole family. Willie liked the idea of healing people and of providing for a family. But he could do both. But could he do both and still write poetry? Dreams are not a bad thing. I am moved to write poetry. So much depends upon labor. Labor meaning work. At age 19, Willie went off to study medicine at the university, where he met Ezra Pound, Hilda Doolittle, and Charles Demuth. Ezra and H.D. were studying literature, while Charlie studied painting. The friends spent many afternoons together discussing books, music, and art. The harder Willie's medical training became, the more he enjoyed the time he spent with them. When he graduated, he returned to Rutherford and hung his sign, William C. Williams, M.D., Family Medicine. Every morning, Dr. Willie Williams filled his black bag with medicines and instruments and drove off to visit patients in their homes. Every afternoon, he returned to his office where more patients waited. This says, they call me and I go. The door opens, I smile, enter. All day, he delivered babies, healed hurts and bruises, set broken bones, and wrote prescriptions for cough and fevers. Dr. Williams is the busiest man in town, said the neighbors, and it was true. But no matter how many babies he delivered, no matter how many sick people he cured, Willie could not stop writing poems. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rain water beside the white chickens. Did I miss some text here? Oh yeah, here. On his prescription pads, he scribbled a few lines. Whenever and wherever he could, in those precious times, the rhythm of the river he had rested beside as a child seemed to guide him, like the water that sometimes ran slow, smooth, and steady, and other times came rushing in a hurried flood. Willie's lines flowed across the page. After his long doctor's day, Willie climbed to the attic, where he kept a lamp and a desk filled with letters from his artist friends, and notes he'd made about things he'd heard, seen, or done. As the rest of Rutherford put out its lights, Willie took out his pen and his notes. He sat down and looked at the words. And shaped them into poems. There's a lot to look at in this book. If you'd like to pause it and read through this text and explore the images a little more, feel free to do that, but I'm going to keep reading. Oh, that's it. Yeah, this is the first time I read this book too, but I think it's just beautiful. So this is more information about this man, William Carlos Williams, and here's a timeline about what he did and when he did it. 1883 is when he was born. And then there's other dates here. Also other world events and other dates of things he published. So this is a beautiful book written about a poet who was inspired to write his whole life. So what a wonderful book. And then there's an author's note and an illustrator's note at the end as well that you are certainly welcome to pause and read if you'd like to know more about the author or the illustrator. I'm just going to skip down here. So Jen Bryant is the author. And then this is a little bit just talking more about William Carlos Williams. And I just want to read this last paragraph. It says, although he wrote poems for most of his adult life, his poetry was not well known until he was in his 60s. By then, he had already published more than a dozen books, as well as several volumes of essays, plays, and short stories. Today, William Carlos Williams is considered one of our most influential American poets, and his work is read and studied in schools and universities all over the world. He died in 1963 at the age of 79, so he was very influential, and he was quite a poet, and he was so drawn to writing poetry that he did it even as he was working as a doctor. So I encourage you to read more of his poems and be inspired to do some of your own writing. I hope you enjoyed the book, and I look forward to doing some more videos like this as we're ending school. So I hope you're having a good day. See you later. Bye.